"Young Master Wilson, what are you doing? Here." Ivan greeted the Wilson family's young master the moment he noticed him. "What did you say earlier, young master? Wilson? 50 million? You're willing to offer a $50 million reward?" Overwhelmed with emotions, Fiona's eyes lit up. "Is your word good?" she sputtered. One should know that the Wilsons and the Clarks were both second-class aristocratic families. Simply put, they were significantly wealthier than their Taylor family. "Of course, Auntie. Do we look like people who'd go back on their word? I'm still a member of the Wilson family, my word is. Still good." Young Master Wilson chuckled as he spoke. He admired the seemingly perfect appearance of Selina and gulped. He was extremely fat, resembling a pig. He was gluttonous and very interested in women. He was instantly charmed when he first laid eyes on Selina. When he learned of her marriage to a delivery guy and her pregnancy, he was furious. Even so, Selina's beauty did not fade after birth. She looked more mature, glowing with femininity. He wanted to keep her to himself. Moreover, Selina was known as the most beautiful maiden in Eastfield. Marrying her would be a proud feat before other men. "Splendid. I'll hold you to your word." Fiona clapped her hands and approached. "Selina. Did you hear that, Selina?" she said. "That person Jack mentioned 10 million. This young Master Wilson offers $50 million instead. He has always been interested in you. He's not too bad. You should consider it. Just nod and we'll make Jack leave. Immediately." The moment Selina heard that, she nearly passed out. She could barely stay calm, looking at young Master Wilson. Although young Master Clark was unpleasant, he was at least handsome. But this man was fat with huge ears. She felt disgusted just looking at him. She argued, "Ma, are you marrying off your daughter or selling her? Will you hand me to whoever offers the highest price?" "Why not just auction me off then?" Selina added angrily. "Even Grandpa agreed to let me marry Jack. How can you change it as you like?" "Selina, that's not what I meant. That Jack fellow is a delivery boy and was only a soldier for a few years." "You don't expect him to amount to anything, do you?" Fiona said. She pointed at Jack disdainfully. "I'm not looking down on him, but can he make 30 million in a month?" "Heh, just wait. He won't. Then I'll have him exiled from our family." "Jack White? Good Lord, this is Jack. White? Kylie's useless father?" "Young," Master Wilson said, stunned. He looked at Jack carefully. "Heh. Looks are all he has. He dresses plainly. How? Is he worthy of Miss Selina?" "You sure talk a lot of nonsense." Jack glared coldly. "This is the Taylor family home. What are you, an outsider, doing here? If you have no purpose, then leave." "Ha. Such strong words. Do you know how powerful the Wilson family is?" Young Master Wilson laughed. "I'm here to discuss collaboration with young Master Taylor. We have matters to work on with the Taylors." Old Master Taylor was pleased. "All who come are guests. Let's sit, young Master. Wilson." "There's no need. I'll speak with young Master Ivan," he replied. He looked at Ivan and asked, "What happened to your hand? Did you fight? Someone?" Ivan's expression turned bitter as he looked at Jack. "A madman, nothing else. I joked with his daughter Kylie, and he beat me without a word," Ivan said hoarsely. Michael Wilson was stunned. "Oh, so it was. That useless man. Unexpected that he dared hit you. He has guts." "It's fine. We had a bet," Ivan said. "He said that in 1 month, on my grandfather's 70th birthday, he'll give me $10 million. He'll also give my grandfather a gift, worth $10 million. If he fails, he'll leave the Taylor family and divorce." Selina. He'll roll out from the front door. Ivan laughed loudly. You must come that day, young master. Wilson, you'll see him roll out. All right. The distance is far. I doubt he can roll out quickly, young master. Wilson laughed. He looked at Selina. Don't worry. I have time. I'm willing to wait for you. After he's exiled, you'll be free and single again. When that day comes, don't reject me. All right, let's go. We still have matters to discuss, Ivan said smugly. He had been beaten badly by Jack, but if Jack got exiled, it would be worth it. He believed Jack was just bluffing. He wanted to see Jack humiliate himself. Ivan soon left with young Master Wilson. All right, you may leave as well, old Master Taylor waved impatiently. Don't disappoint me in 1 month. He was dissatisfied that his granddaughter married a poor man, which embarrassed him. At that moment, in a luxurious mansion, the richest man in Eastfield, James Drake, spoke to a middle-aged man. The man who returned with the god of war, Lana, is called Jack White, he said. I think their relationship is not simple. Investigate it. I want answers quickly. The man before him was his most efficient assistant who served the Drake family. Well, after hearing that, he frowned. Master, I don't think it's necessary. Even if he has ties with the god of war, he's not useful to us, right? He smiled and added, Why don't we focus on pleasing the god of war instead? That's what matters most. As James listened to what his staff had to say, he could not hold back his bitter chuckle. The gods of wars are way above our status, and they're not easy to butter up, he stated. Not to mention, this is a female god of war. We don't even know what she likes and dislikes. He paused when that point was brought up. He continued, I'm afraid all of the major powerhouses wanted nothing more than to sweet-talk to the god of war upon her return. Fortunately, we went through. So much to learn of her flight today, and it seems the other powerhouses knew. Absolutely nothing. The middle-aged man in front of him nodded his head and said, The gift we sent for the god of war, Lana, did she accept it? She accepted the hospitality we arranged, for her. It's a different story for the money, though. She was quite disinterested with it. James chuckled and said, Lana seems to dislike it when people try to flatter her. Not to mention, we have no idea how exactly we can cajole her. The middle-aged man remained silent for a brief moment. All of a sudden, his eyes lit up as he spoke. Master, so what you meant was, since that Jack fellow shares quite the unique relationship with Lana, all we need to do is butter up Jack. This, in turn, would be an indirect way of flattering the god of war. Thus, if the god of war only grants our family her blessing in the future, wouldn't this make our business more stable? James nodded slowly and replied, Yes, that man was able to sit in the same plane with Lana when they returned. All we need to do is help Jack, since that would mean we're also wooing Lana. Bravo, Master! The nickname for the middle-aged man was called Spectre, and he happened to be one of the 3 major guardians in the Drake family. With a smile etched on his face, he then spoke. The nickname for the middle-aged man was called Spectre, and he happened to be one of the 3 major guardians in the Drake family. With a smile etched on his face, he then spoke. This god of war happens to be a female, and from how I see it, she isn't young at all. James frowned after hearing that statement. Spectre, he started, you're not thinking of making a move on her to make her your woman now, are you? You best keep that thought to yourself. Should you offend her, and the god of war gets furious, not only is our Drake family, but the entire Eastfield will end, up as a river of blood in a single night." Spectre let out a bitter laugh as he said, "Master, how would I dare to even have that thought? Besides, I am not the kind of person to toy with a woman's feelings just for my future benefit now, right? A man who uses a woman to further their reputation is someone I would be the first person to look down on." Upon making that statement, Spectre explained, "What I mean is, Jack isn't Lana's man now, is he? Perhaps there's also a possibility of them sharing an intimate relationship. Besides, they've known each other for a very long period in the fields of war, and they see each other very often. That's very unlikely. Judging by how they both behaved, they seemed very cold to one another. They have quite the cold face on them. Could that even spark any romance?" James chuckled and, after a brief pause, continued, "No matter what, just look into them. It doesn't matter if he's only a staff to Lana. We still have to butter them up. This will surely strengthen our bond with the god of war. No problem. Recently, numerous military veterans are coming out of retirement in Eastfield. There are also many high-ranking and well-achieved soldiers among them. Go, visit them, and have someone look into that Jack fellow." Spectre nodded as he beamed. "Now that Master has mentioned it, I'm starting to get interested in that man. I hope he won't disappoint me." "Good. I'll await your good news." James spoke with a chuckle. At this very moment, in a random room within the Clark family home, Ken was seething with rage. He stared furiously at Dan in front of him and barked, "What's the meaning of this, Dan? Why didn't you teach that brat Jack a lesson? Not only that, but you had someone carry me away. Do you have any idea how humiliating that was to me?" As he spoke, he pointed at his mouth and said, "Look, my teeth have been completely smashed. God damn it! When have I, Ken Clark, ever endured such humiliation? Young master, that man isn't as simple as you imagine. I'm no match for him." Dan frowned and spoke in a serious tone. "He murdered the Black Dragon. I was told, by witnesses present, they didn't even notice him move before he dropped dead. That has to be impossible, right? Don't. We have surveillance cameras? Why can't we get clear footage?" Ken's expression was full of disbelief. "I've already looked into it and even slowed down the footage, all to no avail." Dan let out a bitter laugh. "Still, we know he was pierced between his eyes. We found a thin silver needle on a pillar far away. Moreover, the needle pierced through the pillar with only 1 to 2 millimeters exposed." Young Master Ken took a deep breath and said, "You're joking, right? You're telling me it pierced a person's head, then a stone pillar, and only a tiny bit remained outside? Such speed and insane strength. This finger of mine, I lost a bet to him and chopped it off as a result. This person is too terrifying. Young Master, don't ever cross Jack White." Dan raised his hand and said, "Wrestling with him made me feel like an ant compared to his strength." "That's impossible, isn't it? Someone that powerful exists? You're already strong. How much stronger can he be compared to you?" Ken was completely stunned. If so, would getting Selena just be a dream? "Yeah, this is the first time I've met someone this terrifying," Dan said as he left swiftly. Young Master Ken sat on the floor after Dan left. Thinking about Selena made him feel dissatisfied. God damn it, I refuse to believe it. This is Eastfield, and we Clarks are a second-class aristocratic family. Is it that difficult to get one woman? Ken clenched his fist with determination. Selena Taylor, I'll do everything I can to get you into my bed obediently." At this moment, Jack, Selina, and the others had all left the Taylor family. Home. "Jack, those were your own words earlier. I don't care about anything else." "If you don't give me 10 million on the old man's 70th birthday, it won't be easy for you to remain our son-in-law," Fiona said angrily as they walked out. "You've seen Selina is still desirable. Even young Master Wilson said it himself. All she needs to do is nod, and $50 million won't be a problem. Don't worry, Mum. Anything I say, I'll do it easily," Jack said with a bitter laugh. "That's right, Mom and Dad. You've lived frugally these 5 years. Let me bring you out to buy new clothes. It's a small gift from me." "Forget it. The clothes you buy will shame me. I'd rather have nothing than cheap knockoffs. I want branded clothes." Fiona noticed the clothes in Selina's hands. She snatched them and walked to a nearby lake. She immediately threw them in. "You can't undersell yourself like this. You are the lady of the Taylor family. We must maintain pride even if we're poor. Such imitations are not worth wearing." Selina initially thought her mother would help her carry the clothes in her hands when she snatched and tossed them into the lake. It was already too late by the time. She came to her senses. Those 3 sets of clothes that cost nearly 200,000 had been audaciously tossed into the lake beside her. "What on earth are you doing, Ma? Those were authentic. Who told you they were fake?" Selina was so agitated that she stomped. Alarmed, she rushed over as her eyes grew red, and she seemed like she was about to cry. It was the first time Jack had gotten her clothes. After all the hardships she had endured for the 5 years they were married, she finally had a taste of luxury. This meant her endurance for the past 5 years was not for nothing. Authentic? How are those even genuine? And if they truly were, can he even afford them? The skeptical Fiona crossed her arms at her chest. She was unconvinced that Jack had that much money to have bought Gucci branded clothes for her daughter. "Dear mother-in-law, those were truly genuine. We bought them at the Gucci store. They can't possibly be fake now, right?" Jack said. Joan, who stood at the side, finally burst. "How could you toss clothes that cost nearly 200,000 into the lake?" "No, I must retrieve them." The already frantic Selina was prepared to dive into the lake and retrieve the clothes. Fortunately, the lake was clear. She could start wearing the clothes after a good wash, once she retrieved them. Jack watched Selina's every move and felt his heart wrenching. Selina was only 20. She even contributed greatly to her family's company at a young age, 5 years ago, being the lady from the Taylor family. Selina back then was adorned with branded clothes and had enjoyed being treated as a reputable lady. Yet here she was, in an attempt to dive into the lake merely to retrieve those few pieces of clothing. Jack took 2 steps forward and immediately grabbed onto Selina. "Forget about them, my dear," he called out. "They're only 3 pieces of clothing anyway. I'll bring you out and buy you another one." Selina was unmoved. "No," she protested. "These clothes are so expensive, and the money you earned has risked your life. Not to mention, this is the first time you bought me clothes. I have to fish them up, and they can still be worn too." Jack chuckled as he heard that statement. He felt utterly touched. He thought that having a wife like her would make him a happy man for the rest of his life. As he released her hand, Jack dove into the lake and picked up the clothes. He was drenched head to toe, but the words "Selina" spoke to him warmed his heart. "No way! They're actually authentic?" As the shocked Fiona saw the event unfolding before, Her, she looked toward Joan and sputtered, "Where'd your son get the money from?" Joan let out a bitter laugh before she responded, "It's all thanks to the 5 years my son has served as a soldier. When he was discharged this time, and upon his return, he was given some prize money from being discharged. He used that money to buy us clothes, didn't he? Although the money he earned had placed him at great risk, he willingly spent it all for Selina." Fiona was completely speechless. She did not expect those clothes were genuine. Gucci clothes. "You're hopeless. It doesn't matter if it's authentic or not. You can't just toss it into the lake. It came from Jack's thoughtfulness." Even the usually silent Andrew could not help but glare at Fiona. Jack was already out of the lake at this moment. He looked at Andrew before saying, "Let's head back now, father-in-law. Your leg was smashed by accident. Don't you worry, though. I can help you heal." "That's impossible, right?" Andrew's heart skipped a beat when he heard that statement. He frowned after that and said, "When we went to get it checked in a well-known hospital, the doctor mentioned that it'll still limp even after it's treated. This is a nerve problem, and the bones underneath are all progressively necrotic. Even as I'm walking now, I feel numb." "What nonsense are you spouting? You, a useless piece of trash, no medical treatment? I'll never believe you." Fiona, on the other hand, rolled her eyes at Jack and barked. "Jack, don't you dare think that we'd accept you just by giving the prize money this time and buying a few clothes for my daughter. I'm telling you now, it's not happening." Fiona then fell into a momentary silence before she continued her tirade. "We've endured so much hardship all these years. How is this small amount of money enough for us? Besides, based on reason, you're required to give the 10 million prize money to us during the old man's 70th birthday. Otherwise, don't even think for a second that we'll acknowledge you." "What on earth are you saying, Mom? He's still Kylie's father, and the child can't live without a father. Besides, he's a responsible man." Selina stared at Fiona furiously. "It doesn't matter if you guys acknowledge him or not," she added. "As in my heart, he's my Selina Taylor's man. Even if you have him exiled from the Taylor family, I'll never marry young Master Clark or young Master Wilson. From how I see it, those people aren't even a fraction of a man Jack is." "You—" Fiona was livid. She pointed at Selina and said, "How did I give birth to a daughter like you? You're being disrespectful. Now do you understand? Are you here to press your mother to death? Are you only satisfied when I'm dead after being backed into a corner?" That's not what I meant. You can't always force me, you know?" Selina could only hold back her frustrations when she noticed her mother lamenting on the side. "Fine. Stop talking about it, Ma. This whole ordeal is my fault, I admit it. I, Jack White, am a man, and I'll never go back on any word I've said. I'll give you 10 million when the time comes, and I'll never let Selina be parted from me." Jack then let out a dry laugh and said, "All right, it's getting late now. Let's all go back to take a shower, change into fresh clothes, and we'll all eat out tonight." Fiona's eyes lit up at the mere mention of eating out. They had lived meagerly for the last 5 years, and Selina was restricted to find work. She could only rely on the money she made from picking up trash for her family's living. Aside from Selina, all the expenses they had were paid with Andrew's earnings. His monthly pay was not much, but he forked everything out every month to allow Selina to buy groceries. They lived as they saved. Hence, Fiona actually felt quite happy when she heard that. Just like before, however, her expression turned cold as she scoffed, "Are you sure about eating out? I'm telling you now, I won't accept places that are considered low class. If you want me to come along, it should only be a lavishly high-class restaurant." Of course, as long you're willing, Mom. Anywhere you pick is fine. Jack chuckled, then hailed 2 cabs. Let's go, he spoke. We'll head back first, since Kylie and Jenny are both waiting for .Yes. I think the little rascal should be famished now. Have Jenny be at our home next at time. She can help us take care of Kylie and clean up the house. Fiona rolled her eyes at Jack. She said, Don't call me Mom. If I don't see the 10 million prize money, I'll never acknowledge you as our family's son-in-law. Humph. Selina, on the other hand, was frowning. Jenny is quite good, but the wages our Taylor family offers aren't too low either, she mumbled. It'd cost $6,000 to $7,000 per month. We can't afford that. Don't you worry. I'll take care of the money. It's almost the start of the school's semester too, so we should enroll Kylie to a school soon. Jack chuckled as he made that statement. Yeah. Selina nodded. It did not take too long for them to reach home with their cabs. At this very moment, one of the 3 guardians in the Drake family, Spectre, rushed frantically to look for James after receiving a phone call. Master, Master, I've made several phone calls, and I finally found something about the whole situation with Jack. It's very peculiar. Spectre called out to James as he rushed frantically. Peculiar? James was somewhat startled when he heard what Spectre had to say. He never thought he would describe Jack as peculiar. Have a look. This is the information I got from people I asked in the military to look into Jack White. There's only his name, his ID number, and his past job as a takeout delivery boy. After that, he became the son-in-law of the Taylor family. He got enlisted on the 2nd day of his marriage, and what happens after that is something we can't find. Suddenly, 5 years later, he returned to the Eastfield. Spectre frowned and said, Isn't such a case file peculiar? Not only was information during his enlistment a mystery, but the department he was enlisted in was unknown as. Well, all we could find was that his mother's name is Joan Xavier, currently working as a cleaner in Eastfield. We have nothing on his father. Can't find anything about his father, and his situation during his enlistment is also a complete mystery. There was a frown on his face, but James soon came to a deduction. Judging from the looks of it, there's a huge possibility that someone had intentionally erased all records about him, he articulated. Or perhaps this is just his surface-level case file, and that his identity isn't that simple. There might be a very confidential and secretive case file on him. Master, if that's the case, this man's identity is certainly not that simple. Otherwise, the government wouldn't blatantly hide his case file and stop anyone from digging into him. The astounded Spectre remarked, To have power for movement of this scale. If he was not a god of war, he'd be close to one. Yes, 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 it has to be that. Stirred, James nodded immediately and ordered, Go, continue your search on Jack's current situation in Eastfield. Isn't he living with the Taylor family? Look into how Jack is doing while he lives in the Taylor family home, and look into what he's doing right now. No problem, Master. I too feel that this man isn't as plain as we think. Spectre nodded immediately as he said, It seems that there's not just one god of war that has returned to Eastfield this time. There are 2. This is such a good opportunity for us, the Drake family. James chuckled humorously. Racking his brain for a moment, he spoke. Look into where he currently is right now. I can't get in contact with him right now. Besides, he's seen me during the day, and he might suspect that we're investigating him if he sees me again at night. Still, we can arrange for Titus or Tanner to get in contact with him. Spectre tittered. Excellent idea. I'll have it arranged right now. As for his situation, in the Taylor family's home, we can slowly investigate and probe progressively. I believe we can find out his current whereabouts in less than an hour. It was only after Jack returned to his home. Did he recall something? Frowning, he asked, "My dear, where will I be sleeping tonight?" Selina blushed after hearing that. That would actually be a problem. Both of them were. Married, they still had a daughter. It was. During their wedding night, when Selina was drunk, that they did the deed. Selina remained silent for a really long while, as she had no idea how to answer him. Upon noticing the distraught look on Selina's face, Jack mirthfully spoke, "Don't worry, I'll sleep in any empty rooms." Selina frowned and said, "There are only so many rooms in total. Your mom has one, and so does my mom. Although it's rare for my brother to return, he has one as well. Kylie and I are sharing a room. 4 rooms, and not a single one remains. Fortunately, Jenny is renting a house outside. Otherwise, she herself won't have room to sleep in." Jack was embarrassed as he replied with a bitter laugh, "The storeroom is also fine, as long as it provides cover from wind and rain, when we were on a mission out there back. Then, we survived for a month's time on a deserted island." Deserted island? After Selina heard that, she frowned and said, "It had to be hard for you, right?" "No. I'd always be thinking that I have such a beautiful wife waiting at home for me, should we be victorious. With that thought in mind, I'd be motivated." Jack looked at Selina, who was right in front of him. The hellish torture he endured for 5 years was worth every second. 5 years of absolute hell had honed him into a sharp blade. This sharp blade, however, had to hide its edge to protect his woman and family. Selina felt utterly gratified after she heard what Jack had to say. She was a rebel against her family from the very beginning, but she soon realized she was unable to part with the child inside her belly. Now, Jack made her feel that she could depend on him. I think you should just share a room with us." Selina finally pouted her lips as her blush seared. Jack coughed. "Well then, dear wife, can I cuddle with you while I sleep?" Jack became giddy as the woman before him was absolutely gentle and kind. Selina's watery eyes could charm anyone. "No, allowing you to share a room with me is pretty good on its own. The child was an accident back then, and besides, I can't fully accept you now. Not yet." Selina turned around, then said, "You can. Only sleep on the floor with a carpet. Wait till our relationship grows much deeper. In the future, and I'll think about then. Hurry up and take a shower. Kylie's delighted when she heard that we'll have a feast tonight." "All right, I'll get to it right now." Unexpectedly, just as Jack had just gone to take a shower, Fiona came over to Selina's room. She then coldly asked, "There aren't any extra rooms, so where will Jack be sleeping tonight?" "On the floor. Am I not placing the carpet down now?" Selina let out a bitter laugh as she took the covers out. Upon noticing that, Fiona's expression recovered slightly. She then said, "Daughter, you can't ever allow that bastard child to touch you now, do you understand? If it was not for him, we wouldn't be living in such a hellish state. Besides, as long as I've not seen the promised 10 million, you can't sell yourself short. Do you understand? Men will never appreciate anything they can easily get." "You're being too judgmental now, don't you? Think, Ma. From how I see it, as long as Jack treats us well, and if we work hard together, everything would be better." Selina pondered for a moment, then added, "Besides, he's not too bad. He treats me well. He treats Kylie well, and he's also very respectful toward his mother." What's good without money? Can he treat you? Well, feed our family with good food, dress better, and live better. Only by giving us money to spend is he treating you well, not by saying a couple of kind statements. After Fiona finished her harangue, she got out immediately after slamming the door. I don't care, she sneered, since he mentioned that he'll be treating us to dinner. Tonight, I want to make it extremely difficult. For him, I want him to know he can't afford to treat us. Yay, yay, we can go for a meal now. Kylie was dressed in a beautiful mini princess dress while she pranced delightfully in the courtyard. Madam, I won't be joining you guys. I still have some matters to attend to, so I'll take my leave now. Jenny smiled at Selina. A date with your boyfriend again? Oh, you, hurry up and go. Selina spoke with a compassionate smile. Joan had already finished her shower at that moment. She changed into the new clothes Jack had bought for her. She looked younger at a short glance. Although she was already in her 40s, she looked younger and more elegant. Joan looked effortlessly beautiful, and she had her natural elegance as well. Although she was usually dressed in her cleaner's uniform to work, she still emanated a personal grace that only belonged to her and no one else. It was also this reason that Jack's father fell in love with her back then. Unfortunately. Ma, you look pretty in that dress. Selina smiled as she took a look at Joan. Oh, you. Stop flattering me. I'm already old. Joan chuckled while she spoke. Fiona, who was sitting at the side, could not hold herself back from mumbling while she witnessed that scene. Am I her birth mother, or is she? She mumbled. God damn it. Andrew, on the other hand, was smoking. He had a frown on his face as he seemed to be lost in thoughts. After a moment, he nudged Fiona next to him with his elbow and said, Say, Jack said he can heal my leg. Do you think it's possible? Fiona immediately said, You actually believe the nonsense he spouted? Don't you know anything about him? He's only a soldier, so is he capable of healing your leg? I think it's more likely that he'll break your leg. Andrew was speechless. Embarrassed, he found himself unable to argue. Fiona then looked at the direction of the washroom and spoke impatiently. How is that brat taking such a long shower? I'm already famished. Andrew took a look at the time and said, It's only been 5 minutes, though. You were taking a shower for half an hour, earlier. Although this courtyard seemed old and disheveled, it was in a strategic location. After Jack was done with his shower, a few of them began to discuss where to eat while they strolled. Not this one. It's too cheap. It's not enough. This one is even worse. A public buffet? Meaningless. As she strolled, Fiona intentionally looked at Jack with disdainful eyes while she goaded him. Jack, you suggested treating us to a meal. I want to eat in a better restaurant. Have you brought enough money? Don't bail on us after we're done with our meal. Don't worry. Today's my first time treating everyone to a meal, so we should all be happy. My dear mother-in-law, just pick as you please and eat to your heart's content. Jack then turned to Kylie, who was in Selina's arms. He then reached out and said, Kylie, let Daddy carry you for a bit. The flustered Kylie looked toward Selina with her pair of huge sharp eyes, seemingly asking for her approval. Kylie, he's your father. Hurry and call out to your father. Let him carry you. Selina felt her emotions stirred. She lamented at the fact that a child could not be without a father. On the day her child was born, she started her long journey of waiting. She was internally terrified. She was afraid of Jack dying on the battlefield. Daddy! Kylie reached out and called, out to her father with her childlike voice. As a supreme warrior, Jack's heart wrenched the second he heard her innocent voice. It was the first time she called him Daddy. In the 5 years of constant battle, he felt like he had slowly become downright, merciless, and cold-blooded. However, he never expected his heart would soften after just hearing his daughter calling him Daddy in such a sweet way. "Let's eat there. This place seems all right." Just as Jack was carrying Kylie, Fiona noticed an impressive-looking restaurant. Although it was not in some fancy hotel, the style of this restaurant looked impressive and rather classy. The main point was that the restaurant must have a very expensive rent to have been built at that spot. In other words, the prices of the food must be expensive as well. You've got good taste, dear mother-in-law. This place has a romantic feel to it, and the interior design isn't bad. Music is also playing in the background. Truly, only people who know how to enjoy life would choose such a place. After Jack took a look at it, he nodded in agreement as well. "Well, isn't it obvious? Just look at who picked it." Fiona's expression seemed slightly prideful before her eyes swiftly shifted, rolling at Jack. "Don't even think for a second that praising me would make me forgive everything you've done, brat," she sneered. "I'm telling you, that 10 million shouldn't be short." Upon noticing Jack and the group of people approaching, a beautiful waitress walked up to them and started catering to them. "Please come inside, all of you. Our services here aren't any less than the ones in those fancy hotels. Besides, our customers are rather reputable people. Give me a table close to the windows." Jack nodded, and the rest took their seats. The beautiful waitress came over with a menu. "I'll order." Fiona immediately snatched the menu. After taking a look, she pointed at the lobster and said, "This ain't bad. One would cost more than 1,000, right? How many people do we have here? Let's have one, for each." "Ma, why are you ordering that much? It's such a waste, don't you think so?" Selina was completely speechless. Judging from the looks of things, her mother was actually going to make it difficult for Jack. "How could you say that, my daughter? He said it himself. He can make 30 million in a month. That would mean he'll make $1 million in a day, right? For a person like that, could he not afford this meal?" Fiona raised her voice, intentionally. In an instant, the few tables around them started looking their way. "No way. He's that capable. 1 million a day? Is he boasting? 30 million a month. Does that mean he'd make 300 million in a year?" A woman gasped audibly. "That's ludicrous. Truly can't judge from his looks, though. That man seems to be dressed normally, doesn't he?" "Is this real? Why come here if he makes $30 million a month? Why don't they head to a 5-star restaurant then? Do you think it's cheap here? It really isn't. It's easy to spend tens of thousands here." More people were starting to look at Jack. Some were envious, while some were merely interested to see who on earth this person was to have such power. Fiona grinned when she noticed the attention. Would he be completely humiliated if he was, unable to pay later? Until then, he would not have the pride left to marry her daughter. "Must you be so loud when ordering food, Ma?" Selina was speechless. It genuinely seemed like Fiona wished to humiliate Jack in public. "Pardon me, I'm a loud talker." Fiona laughed as she immediately crossed her arms. "You wouldn't mind now, would you, Jack? After all, you know our Selina is named the most beautiful maiden in all of Eastfield. Her status is priceless. If you can't even afford a single meal, do you think you're worthy of her? If you can't even fork out the money for this meal, I suggest you leave her sooner rather than later for her own good." Only young Master Wilson and young Master Clark can provide my daughter with happiness." She stared directly at Jack as she spoke, and she continued word by word. "And you'll only drag my daughter down. Drag our family down. I advise you, don't humiliate yourself." After Jack heard that statement, he chuckled, coldly, as he seemed unfazed. "Dear mother-in-law, how can you speak so much in one meal? Don't you worry. I'm the only one that can secure Selina's happiness. I'll still be able to pay everything, even if you ordered the entire menu tonight." "Ha ha, you speak heavy words. Well, don't. Mind if I do." The corners of Fiona's mouth twitched as she held in a full belly of disdain. She wanted him to know what ruthless meant. Tonight,